Hey everyone, how's it going? So now we have our login page and our register pages set up, we can actually start adding the code which will handle the form submissions now. So go back to our text editor and let's go to register.pug. Now although this is a pug file and this code right here is pug code, we can actually write JavaScript code in here. So I want to demonstrate something. What we're going to do is add just a real simple bit of JavaScript code which will just make sure that the two passwords match. So it's a real simple way of doing some client-side validation. I just want to demonstrate it. I don't want to spend too much time on the validation, but this should hopefully give you enough context if you wanted to continue this and add, a deeper level of client-side validation. So what we're going to do is write script and then dot. Now what script dot does is it means that you can write JavaScript code in here. So anything underneath script dot is just considered regular JavaScript code. So if I write alert hi like this, when I refresh the page you should see an alert, which you do because it is just regular JavaScript code. I can even show you in here at the bottom. Sorry, where is it? Here. Yeah, script alert hi. So it's converted what we've wrote into a script. Okay, so yeah, anything in there, regular JavaScript code. So what we're going to do is write some code which checks that the two password fields are the same. Because we want to reference these two, we need to give these two an ID. What's the easiest way to give them an ID? So what we're going to do is do a pound sign between the parentheses and say password, and then I'll give the one underneath, the confirm password field. I'll give this one an ID of password conf, like that. All right. So we added an ID to each of those. Now I'll get rid of that alert hi, we don't need that. We're going to say var password field equals document dot get element by ID. So we're just going to use some regular JavaScript here. We're not going to do anything fancy with jQuery. And the ID is password because that's what we specified right here. And then we'll do the same thing on the line below. This will be password confirm field, and then the ID, I'll just copy this right here, password conf. Okay, great. Now what I'll also do underneath that is say var form equals document dot get element by ID, and I just realized we don't actually have an ID on the form, so what I'll do is go up to the form tag and do the same thing. I'll add a pound sign and then we can call this register form, like that. Alright, so that's the ID, so I'll just paste that in there in quotes. Okay, great. So we've added, I don't know why I added a line there. So we've added references to all three of these fields. Underneath that, I'll then create a function. I'll say validate form. I was going to call it validate passwords, but validate form works. That way you can, of course, add other validation in here if you wanted to. And then inside here, we're just going to say if password field dot value is not equal to password confirm field dot value, then all we're going to do, just real simple, just add some alert. You can do something better with this if you want, maybe output some nice error message, but we're just going to alert it for now. Like I said, don't spend too much time on this. So passwords do not match, please try again. If you really wanted to, you could use Bootstrap alert or something like that, because we do have Bootstrap right here. We added it in the main layout, wherever that was, the login layout, sorry. So we have Bootstrap available to us, so you could of course use a Bootstrap alert, or Bootstrap dialog is the correct term. That would look a little bit nicer than the built-in JavaScript alert, but it's fine. We'll then say else, and then simply say form dot submit, like that, and that's it. So all we need to do now is call this function when they press the button. So how do we do that then? So what we're going to do is go up to the form tag right here, and after this method equals post, I'll put a comma and then say on submit, and then I'll say equals, and inside there we're going to put the the code we want to run when the form's submitted. So in there I'll say event dot prevent default, like that. So what this does is it stops the regular behavior of whatever element it is. So on submit, a form has the default behavior of submitting the form. So what we're doing is saying stop submitting the form. Okay, so it essentially cancels out the submission. And then what we're going to do is simply call our function validate. What do we call it? Validate form, like that. All right. Oops. Validate form. Man, I can't type today. Validate form, and that's it. So when we submit this form, it's going to prevent the submission from going through, and then it's going to call this function instead. Now this function, if the password fields are not the same, it will just show an alert. If they are the same, it won't do this. It will instead move to the else block, and it will just submit the form with this line here. And that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and try that out. So if I refresh the page, you're going to have to put values in all these fields because they're all required. You see this? I tried to submit without having a value in there. They're all required. So just put anything in there. This one is a type of email, so you have to put something like an email in there. Okay. And then I'll make these passwords not match. Okay, and passwords don't match. And it hasn't submitted the form. We're still here, so the user can just go and then fix this. So when they are the same, it goes through. Okay. So we haven't handled the post scenario yet for this route, so don't worry about that. But just know that this is all good. When the passwords don't match, the submission doesn't go through.